Hi, welcome back to Joshcore Season 2. We've already started with a very exciting twist. I was doing some work in between episodes just to gear up a little bit more. That means just involving my swords and whatnot. I have kind of maxed out my tools here, and I was starting to kind of prep the villagers to get some better sword enchants and just some better books in general. However, while I was kind of walking around here, I was fighting some Pokemon, and as you can tell from the chat here, my Bulbasaur seems ready to evolve. He's also learned some other moves, so I think it's time we actually evolve this guy and evolve him into Ivysaur. There we go. We have evolved. Not only have we gotten ourselves a new advancement, but our Bulbasaur is now an Ivysaur, which is a pretty awesome way to start the episode. Today's episode's plans are going to be going into the Nether, get ourselves a healer at the very least so we can heal our Pokemon whenever needed. I also want to upgrade our Eevee and evolve him into one of the evolutions. Additionally, I want to set up a starter base, or at least the plans of a starter base, and at the very least maybe get ourselves the Eyes of Ender so we can start planning on the dragon fight. Now, I've actually changed a lot of the villager area down here, so we are now obviously sorting all of our books here. We even added a Breaking 3 guy and a Looting 3 guy, which of course I've taken advantage of to make these swords here. So I'm going to go back down to the old skeleton farm and try and get some XP to make the best sword possible. Alright, so now that we're here, I think the best way to do this is combining the books first, and then these all together, and then combine these for 32. And this is going to be simply just subscribe. Nice. So this sword is now a beast, and it should be able to take out these guys pretty easily. And we're getting a ton of bones while doing this too, which is nice. Alright guys, with that, I think we're ready to go into the Nether. I have a fully maxed out sword here with Looting 3, which will help us kill gas for gas tiers. Now if we look at the crafting recipe for the healer, it needs a gas tier. We also need a revive, and we could make a revive by getting heal powder and honey. Now, we get heal powder by smelting a revival herb. Luckily, we have revival herbs because we found those in a lush cave in between episodes, so let's just smelt up one of these. Now, I was actually going to use some of the sand here to make ourselves a honey bottle and then find a beehive and do all of that, but we can just kill a combi with a sword and it just gives us a honey bottle. Perfect. Now we can use this to make ourselves a revive. Now we can take that honey bottle and craft it with ourselves there, make ourselves a revive, which we of course now unlocked a whole ton of things, which allows us to make ourselves a healer. So time to go to the Nether. The portal is set, so let's go. Just kidding, we're actually gonna do one more thing, which is right out here. As you can see, we made a pretty big mess by setting up our Nether portal. I saw this guy bouncing around out here. This is a Pidgeotto. We actually killed one earlier, which is how we're able to get the names, which is something I didn't know before I started this, but everyone, for example, this guy, he's a question mark. Until you fight them once and kill them, you unlock their name. This guy, however, I want to catch because he's going to be pretty important. Okay, he's going to take out Eevee. That's not good. Throw in our Ivysaur, though. Hopefully he can tank a little bit more as we can hopefully catch this guy. Perfect. There we go. We caught him. Now, the reason I even bothered to get this Pidgeotto is because we can actually mount this guy, which means we can now ride him. So it's going to be helpful in the Nether if we're trying to, fly around. We can now ride this guy around. There's a couple other Pokemon that actually do this in this mod. However, this is really only the guy that I've found so far. However, this is just a good guy just to have for the basics as we've traveled around the Nether. Okay. We are now in the Nether, and this is kind of terrifying already. We kind of spawned right next to a Bastion, which is kind of insane, but I'm going to quickly just get our cords here. Okay, there he is. And we got ourselves gas tiers. Perfect. That, of course, is really all we needed. Okay, well, I found it. Our Pidgeot is on fire here. This is not a good position to be in. I want to take out this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, he died. I was like, what the heck? What just happened? Why'd I plummet? Okay, I didn't know they could die to damage while riding. This has gone really bad. Sick. Well, we got one of them. All right, as you can see, our pigeon has now recovered from fainting, which is nice. Back to the Bastion and Nether portal now. Okay, snout, some iron, ancient debris. The heck is this suspicious armor? I don't know what that is. Probably a cobblemon thing. It's probably important. This is actually pretty good. Grab that. Where's the binding? This is pretty good. That's not that good. Iron, can't take it. This is another netherite. I swear I had a spot. I have no inventory space. Oh my gosh, this is broken. This feels a little cheaty to use the pigeon all the time, but like literally would have died like 100 times. The only thing that can make this better, yeah, is we find one of these guys. There you go, take all that. We have so much loot though. All right, I'm gonna go back to the overworld, drop off some of this stuff, and then come back to that guy. All right, we're back, and I might just sit here for a bit as we let this guy go through all these trades, and eventually we're gonna get ourselves enough ender pearls to beat this game. So there's everything we basically traded up there. We have 16 ender pearls and a soul speed 3 book, which is basically perfect. So we're going to take that and head back to the overworld. Now let's take the gas tier, the revive, wherever that is, I think it's in here, the revive, and everything else we need to craft ourselves. We need a diamond too, to craft ourselves a healer. There we go. And now, at a moment's notice, we can always heal our Pokemon. I mean, our Pokemon are already healed, but, you know, it's good to have. Okay, I was in the process of getting some stuff here, and I found a Growlithe that we need to take on here because I really want an Arcanine. Oh, perfect. First try. All right, so there we go. Growlithe has been added to the collection. I'm going to keep working on maxing out my boots here. And there we go. The boots are now to their max potential. Basically, everything I want and need are on these. Also working on smelting up some things here. So if we take this and the glass here and then go here, we can actually craft ourselves a PC. We just need some iron and some copper. And we can take some of this out and we should be able to craft a PC, which is also really important. PC allows us to basically see which Pokemon we have if we have more than, 6, which we already don't have that many. Now the next thing I want to do is work on evolving my Eevee, which I had mentioned I wanted to do last episode. So my favorite evolution is Jolteon, which means we're going to need to find ourselves a Thunderstone, which is a kind of ore that we can find similar to, diamond or, emerald, iron ore, whatever it is. We can find that ore down in the cave. So we're going to actually go caving right now. So let's head into our cave system here and see if we can find one. Okay, I think I found it right here. Thunderstone, perfect. Now I think we should be able to use this on our Eevee when he gets high enough level. My strat here now is to just take on easy Pokemon so we can level this guy up a little bit, and then we should be able to upgrade him and evolve him. So I've done a couple battles with my Eevee here, and he seems ready to evolve, so we can actually evolve him straight into Jolteon. So there we go. And just like that, bam, there's our Jolteon. Look at that. What that means, he has a whole new set of moves here, so let's start putting on some of the good ones. I already renamed my Pidgeotto into Pigeon, and I think we should rename this guy too. Cybertruck. How about that? And I think it means we also need to rename our Ivysaur. Onion Turtle. If you know, you know.
He called Bulbasaur.
That's Onion Turtle.
Oh, that's a Firestone. Has to be. Yes, it is. Which means we should be able to upgrade this guy, no? Or, yeah, we have to throw him out, and then... Yes. Then we can evolve. That was weird. The thunder happened right when I'm evolving into Arcanine. Let's go. Oh, what a beauty. And we can ride this guy around. Yo. Did I just Bro, I just found a shiny. Okay, wait, we need this guy. Let's do a very light attack that won't kill him. Get him low. Now we gotta catch this guy. I don't really need the Lillipup, but when it's a shiny, you have to go for the catch. This is crazy. So I actually played a cobblemon world on my own before. It wasn't hardcore. Didn't record it, of course. Never found a shiny. I probably played for so long. I can't believe it. I'm standing up right now. I can't believe it. This, I kid you not, I've been playing for a day on the hardcore world, and we find it already. That's insane. So it was unplanned. Yeah, it was unplanned, but there's our shiny. That's a huge advancement made in the overall advancement list. Something I thought I would never do, which was a pure luck-based one, but that is find a shiny. There we go. We now have a shiny Lillipup. All right, I think I'm going to record this. I've been doing a ton of work. Just not recording though, but I've just been fighting Pokemon, pretty simple ones to kill, just trying to upgrade my Onion Turtle so he can upgrade into an Ivysaur. I think this is going to be our last fight, so I think that does it. Takes out the Mareep, come on, say he's ready to evolve, there we go. As you can tell from the chain hair, look at this. So obviously this is when we got our shiny, and just a whole ton of so this guy's ready to evolve into a Venusaur. Let's do it. Oh man, this guy is huge. And with all of the work we've done, we can now ride this guy around. He's not the fastest, but he is pretty quick. However, the Arcanine though, since we've upgraded this guy so much, when we get on him and mount him, this guy's whipping. I mean, this is quicker than any horse you can possibly get in the game. I mean, this is probably going to be our way of transporting for the future. Like, look at this. I am flying, so that's pretty cool to see, and that is all due to us just grinding up a Pokemon here. You also see we got ourselves another Eevee, which is pretty good. We can use this guy in the future as well. Now, the next thing I want to do is find a spot for our new starter base, because I kind of want to move out of the village. I mean, we basically have everything we need from this place, all of our tools, gears, and everything, so we're going to take what's important here and move on. I think it's good important, though, to first craft the ender chest, because that's going to make moving things around a little bit easier. Yeah, I guess whatever. Ender chest, and we have a silk touch pick, so let's place this down. Perfect. So this is basically everything I'm taking, including my inventory. As you can see, I'm taking a whole ton of diorite here because my next build is going to actually contain a lot of diorite, so I'm taking that with us. And I've already mapped out where I want to build this in a separate world. Now, you may call this cheating, but I just basically did the seed map and found out where I need to go using creative, and now I'm just translating in the world. So I'm going to use another to get there. Again, you may call it cheating, but I just want to make sure that the series is as watchable as possible, and if that means trying to find a good location to build a cool base, I'm going to do that. And just like that, we are now in the brand new area, a fresh area for us to build. Now, the reason I like this area so much is there's a quite open plain area, and then up here you'll see a cherry mountain, which is where we plan to build our mega base. However, over here, I'm going to start planning out the starter area. Now, for now, I'm just going to put down everything into a chest. So as you can see, we have planned out the area where I think this base is going to be. Right now it's a 9x9 because this base is going to get pretty tall. In between episodes, I'm going to plan on gathering all the materials we need to actually build it, because right now this is all we have for diorite and we're going to need a lot more. That being said, I am going to end today's episode here. Our onion turtle is now fully evolved into a Venusaur. We even have a Cybertruck to us and an Arcanine, which is a pretty good arsenal in terms of Pokemon. Not to mention we have maxed out gear in Minecraft Hardcore. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more.